Now it's up to the church. Who want to go first to ask a question?
I'm not from Illinois, I'm from Minnesota. Or vote for you for sure.
Oops, I don't know, is that on?
Yes, it is.
My question is, there are all these calls to the church to vote, but what's being done to make sure that there is voter integrity? What's being done so that we know our votes will be counted, and that because of all the fraud that's taken place, it's frustrating to me when I hear, go out and vote. And I'm going, well, I want to know that that actually is going to be counted.
Yeah, look, that's a great question, and the first response to that is not enough, okay? In my county, I've actually commissioned in Kendall County as the Republican chairman within my group. We are doing an election integrity committee, and we are going to go into our county clerk's office and get access to the ballots, the machines, everything, and do a forensic audit. And I would love to see that happen in every county in Illinois, especially in Cook County. We know that in Cook County, they're the masters of stealing elections, and they've exported their technology, so to speak, to Philadelphia, Detroit, Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, and we need to stop what they do. They're very good at it, by the way. And it's a very important thing. I had a person, I was out working for some candidates of mine in the local election who we actually won 8 of 10 seats, so we did very well this April election. But I was walking in a neighborhood and a person, after I hung some literature on their door, they weren't there to answer the door, but I was walking around other houses in the neighborhood. This guy got out of his house, got into his car, drove the neighborhood looking for me to tell me exactly what you said. He's like, why would I ever vote again? You got to tell me why I need to vote. And first of all, that's a scary thing because we can't give up. So get out there and vote. Even if you think they're going to steal it, you have to get out there and vote.
Yes.
And you have to educate other folks that we have to do that. But we need to put more pressure on your local leaders to do exactly what we're doing, a forensic audit in your county, because the elections start at your county. They're not federalized. They're not even run by the whole state. They start in your county. They're usually governed by state law, but they start in your county. So work with people in your county to start that.
Excellent. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Beth Kilmer, and I'm actually here from Florida. But as a congressman, you would be, in essence, representing all of us across the nation.
Amen.
To a large extent. So this is important to me. When your constituents contact your office for a meeting with you, will you commit to everyone that is here and watches this that you will always make time to meet with your constituents that help get you there and not just pass them down to your chief of staff or some other employee?
Yes, absolutely. So to me, that is such a critical thing, because you can look around and you see elected officials of all levels, Congress and other levels, but I can tell you that the gentleman I'm running against does not make himself available to the public. He only takes cherry-picked meetings. In my career, I'm a software consultant, and my job is actually to go out into factories, into farm fields, in laboratories, sometimes in the boardroom, and my job is to go out there and meet people where they're at. So I for the last 20 some odd years, I've been traveling a lot around Illinois, a little about the country and somewhat about the world, and I go there to meet with people, and it's my mindset that I need to make myself available to people. And when I have been in these big battles and campaigns, the one thing that I think even my opponents would agree with is I out-campaign them. I mean, I'm out there wherever the people are that are meeting and gathering to talk about politics and even not politics, and I'll be out there and accessible to folks. I have a phone number on my website. it rings in my office, and if I don't answer it, it sends me a message if you leave a voicemail, and I will return every call that comes into that line, and I do. And I also have an email that comes directly to me, and I'm only monitors it. So I think it's highly important that elected officials make themselves available to the public and not just to the big donors and the folks that are controlling them in Washington, D.C.
And I just want to give you a word that when you win, because this is yours, that God has already given you a burning passion. And so my question is, what is the first piece of legislation with the government so utterly broken? What is the first piece of legislation that you will sponsor?
You know, there's so many things that need to be done, right? But I talked about this to a woman approached me in my last campaign. I met her, never met her before. She called me up, and I met her in a little coffee shop in Batavia, and she asked me to do something that's actually never been done before. And you do need to understand that I can introduce a bill, but it might not go anywhere. But she says, you don't care. I want you to introduce this bill. So the bill that she wanted me to introduce, and I pledged to her I would introduce, and I'll pledge to you, I'll make that number one, is to protect the most innocent of life in this country.
Last question. Would you be willing, if you're elected, to sit down with the church and help and allow us to help you put a bill together that we think will help affect society? Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It's the people of the church, to me, that are the most important influencers that we need going forward. And Paul actually got me invited to an Illinois prayer call that happens every Tuesday morning, and I have the privilege to be on that call most every Tuesday. But to me, yes, absolutely meet with anybody here, any leaders of the church, because the church needs to have more. You know, that separation of wall and church and state, it's not in the Constitution, folks. You know, the freedom of religion is guaranteed by the First Amendment. Yes. So we need more influence. You know, that nonsense about the church can't influence politics. Let's be done with that. Absolutely.
Also, come on, because he was right on everything that we're looking to bag as a church. So I approve you. The church will approve you. We will receive prayer, we will anoint you and release you into your destiny. Hallelujah. All right. Depending on your time frame, all right, okay.